Hello everyone, and welcome to Galaxy 89 Cars. Today, thanks to the team at Knowl Hill Performance and Luxury, I'm bringing you an in-depth exterior and interior tour and exhaust video of a 2019 BMW M2 Competition. This car, which is finished in Long Beach Blue, is currently for sale with Knowl Hill Performance and Luxury at the time of publishing, so use the direct link in the video description for more information. The M2 Competition is a more focused evolution of what was already thought of as a very good car in the form of the standard M2. There are many refinements, some more obvious than others, that can be found all over the competition that help to make this evolution a genuinely better car. We will of course cover all of these throughout the course of the video. The BMW M2 Competition comes in at 4,461mm long, a decrease of 7mm, 1,410mm high, 1,990mm wide, an increase of 6mm, and has an unladen weight of 1,550kg, down by 20kg. Before we can take a look at the engine bay, we need to pull the latch found in the driver's footwell twice to unlock the bonnet. Then moving around to the front, the bonnet can be lifted straight up, as a double pull opens the catch. The bonnet is self-supported on two gas struts. Looking up, there is no heat shielding, just a raised section for the enhanced power dome. The new carbon fibre reinforced plastic strut here provides even more rigidity and aids front-end precision. The M2 Competition is powered by a detuned version of the engines found in the M4 and M3, a front-mounted bi-turbo inline six-cylinder engine that produces 410 brake horsepower and 550 Nm of torque. This is an increase of 40 brake horsepower and 85 Nm over the standard M2. This output produces a 0 to 62 mph or 100 km/h time of 4.4 seconds with the manual, and 4.2 seconds with the MDCT, which is a decrease of 0.1 seconds in each transmission option, and a top speed limited to 155 mph or 176 mph with the M drivers package. This car is sitting on 19-inch M light alloy wheels in Y-spoke design that are also available in a dark finish. On each corner, we find the new M Sport braking system with drilled and ventilated discs that can last longer under hard braking and cover the car's increased performance. Stability is provided by wishbones, extra rose joints, passive dampers, and now there's a new M Active differential at the rear. Spring and damper tuning has also been recalibrated. Now we've finished the model overview, we can start the exterior in-depth tour from front to back. Looking at the M2 head-on, we can take note of several changes to its front. These lateral air intakes have been enlarged thanks to the reduced ticks above. They come with further lateral slats to direct air along the side of the car. Moving centrally, there are new air intakes here to send cool air to the larger 6-piston brakes. Looking below, there are new open intake sections that send air under the car, and above, the black grille behind has taken on a tighter design. The iconic kidney grills above have been enlarged and now come with high-gloss M double slats for a more aggressive aesthetic. Moving up, we find new optional adaptive LED headlights that come in a more angular incomplete hexagonal design. Moving to the lateral aspect of these, we find a small BMW LED logo and smaller side indicators. Above, the bonnet still has its central power dome and dynamic lines on either side. Moving back, the same windscreen sits behind with two wipers below. We can now move to the lateral aspect of the M2 Competition. Running on each side, the pinched side skirts remain. Above, the small vent clips have now been turned gloss black from chrome, but keep their M2 insignia. Above and behind these are the brand new M Sport wing mirrors. These new electrically adjustable wing mirrors come from the other M models, are a lot more angular than the previous M2 mirrors, and come with integrated indicators. Looking down, the car comes with the same keyless entry system, but there are manual drums to the rear of the handle. Above this, the roof is sculpted in the same way as the standard M2, but an electric sunroof can be spec'd here. Moving back, we find the same shark's fin antenna at the rear. Below is the same rectangular rear window. And moving down to the right-hand side here, we find the fuel tank flap. This can be opened with a light depress, thanks to its spring action. The petrol fuel tank can hold 52 litres, with the car returning a combined MPG of 30.7. The flap can then be secured with a light depress. Moving back, the same slim boot-lid spoiler remains. Below, we find BMW insignia and the optional reversing camera. To the right of this is the new M2 Competition model designation, which can be removed from factory. The rear light complexes on either side have been reconfigured, with the white reversing light placed at the bottom from the top. Below, we find the same lateral depressions with the side reflectors. Underneath, we find the black plastic two-fin diffuser, which is very similar to before, but there is a new valve-controlled quad exhaust exit that comes with a new, more environmentally friendly backbox. As a result of this new backbox, noise has been somewhat compromised, but nevertheless, let's hear how it sounds. Starting up in Comfort, then revs in Sport Plus with the valves open, and then in Comfort with them closed. Now we've finished the exterior in-depth tour, we can move inside. The key has 3 buttons: lock, unlock, and to unlock the boot. The handle and light door open easily and smoothly. The interior here is finished in the standard black Dakota leather with blue accents and contrast stitching. Orange highlights and contrast stitching can also be spec'd. The standard gloss carbon fibre inlay package has also been chosen, with the second option being high gloss piano black. We can now start the interior in-depth tour with the doors. The main rounded plastic panel starts at the top with the lock indicator and finishes with what would be a Harman Kardon speaker if the optional system was spec'd. The panel flattens out below this, where we find the door release. There's an Alcantara upholstered section and the leather upholstered armrest, both with contrast stitching. The controls of the front electric windows and mirrors can be found ahead, as well as the carbon wrap door handle and first speaker from the standard system. Below, we find the door storage area that is broken up into different compartments. Now moving inside, we can take a look at the sill, which didn't feel high or wide. Ingress and egress was very straightforward. The sill is topped here with a new black M2 Competition metal kickplate. Further along, we find the boot release, small storage or access area, exterior light controls, and the first manually adjustable air vent. To the left, we find the new M Sport leather upholstered and multifunctional steering wheel. It comes with the M Sport contrast stitching. Moving down, we find cruise control, M1 and M2 buttons on the left for the driving modes, leather upholstered centre with the horn, and call and volume controls on the right with M insignia below. Pressing the new red engine start button to the left, which has also been lowered, brings the car to life. The new black panel instrument cluster ahead has been simplified in comparison to the standard M2. There's a digital speedo on the left with fuel level below it. Small digital screen centrally, and to the right, the M rev gauge with a small digital display showing drive mode and gear selected. The small central screen can display media and radio information and, as mentioned before, can be navigated through using the button to the right of the wheel. We can also see drive modes changing to the right. These can be altered using the M1 and M2 buttons to the left of the wheel. Looking up, the dash is constructed from a lightweight plastic panel with venting on either side. Centrally, we find the 8.8-inch infotainment screen for the BMW iDrive system. The home screen is broken up into different sections. The first is the full FM, AM and DAB digital radio, where stored music and that via CD can also be accessed and played. Next is the phone connectivity menu, where phones can be paired, hands-free calls can be made, and connect to BMW assistants. After this, we come to the navigation screen. Destinations can be input manually, or selected from the Recents menu. The map can be zoomed in and out of manually using the scroll wheel below. In Connected Drive, the user can access and set up the BMW Connected app, which enables the owner to access and upload navigation and calendar information remotely. Driver assistance can also be accessed here. My Vehicle comes next. Here the user can access a variety of settings and features, such as the new ambient lighting, iDrive, main menu and M Drive settings. The M modes alter traction, engine, steering and transmission settings. General settings and a digital copy of the owner's handbook can also be accessed here. The final screen is the general notification screen, which shows service schedule and other information. The car does have the optional reversing camera, but I didn't showcase the screen here. There's also an optional BMW concierge service and Apple CarPlay that can be spec'd. Below we find 2 air vents with the hazard light button and interior lock buttons between. There's also an extended carbon fibre inlay surrounding this area. Moving down, we find the CD player and below this the ventilation and climate controls. From left to right, optional 3-stage passenger heated seat. Front demist, passenger zone temperature adjustment. Rear demist, air direction with digital dash above. Fan speed controls. Driver air direction, recirculation. Driver zone temperature adjustment, AC, and the optional driver heated seat. Moving down onto the central column, we first find this small rubber-topped stowage area. Moving back, there's a small lid that can be pushed back to reveal 2 cup holders and a 12-volt socket and lighter. A smoker's package can be spec'd here that comes with an ashtray. Behind, we find the main control array and shifter for the 7-speed double-clutch MDCT transmission. With this transmission, the car can be left in full auto mode, or sequential shifting can be done here when pushed to the right, or with the paddles behind the wheel. To the right of the gear selector, we find 4 further buttons. From top to bottom, traction control off, engine mode, steering mode, and parking sensors on or off. The button behind the gear selector is for transmission mode, either Comfort, Sport or Sport Plus. The main control array for the infotainment system sits behind, on the matte carbon top section of the central column. There are direct access controls for media, communications, menu, map and navigation. Behind, we find the touch-sensitive control pad that can be tilted and used to scroll. To the rear are 2 further direct access controls for back and options. To its right, we find a leather-upholstered manual handbrake, quite a rare feature in a modern performance car. Moving back, we find this dual leather-upholstered armrest. It can be slid forward and back, and opened up, revealing some storage space and a USB input. An enhanced Bluetooth and wireless charging station can be spec'd here. On either side of this, we find the newly added M Performance seats that feature in other M models. These are paired with the standard M seatbelts with the M Performance colours. To the sides of these, we find the standard manual movement controls, but an electric option can be spec'd with a driver's memory function. Now we've finished in the front, we can move to the rear. To do this, simply pull the lever found to the right of the outer shoulder and pull the seat forward. The rear seating is comprised of a leather-upholstered bench that offers 2 rear seats and a small amount of central storage. The seats come with embroidered top sections, and the M seatbelts can also be found here. Now sitting in the rear with the front seat moved back into position, we can assess the rear space, which is assisted by the indentations on the rear of the front seats. Space in the rear is somewhat limited, but it is definitely usable for most people. Lighting can also be enhanced by speccing the optional sunroof. Now looking around from right to left, we first find the Alcantara upholstered panel and leather upholstered armrest with contrast stitching. Centrally, the central column projects into the rear with these 2 manually adjustable air vents and the 12-volt socket below. And finally, between the seats there's a small open storage area. Moving back into the front briefly, we can take a look at the remaining storage capacity. There's an illuminated glove compartment on the passenger's side that offers a reasonable amount of capacity. Moving outside, the boot lid can be opened using the button on the key, but needs to be manually lifted up. It is then self-supported on 2 struts. The warning triangle, in red, is supported here. The boot offers a max capacity of 390 litres with the seats up, and can be extended further by choosing the optional through loading system that enables the rear seats to be laid down. Looking inside the boot, we find netting to the left with a large pack, and more netting to the right with the medkit. The larger kit to the left holds the car's BMW detailing and maintenance products. When finished in the rear, the boot lid can then be manually closed. We can now move back inside to have a look at the car's final few features. There are unfolding sun visors on each side that come with illuminated vanity mirrors. Centrally, we find the internal microphones, button for the SOS system, and buttons for the reading lights ahead. Below this is the rear view mirror that comes with an anti-dazzle option and offers good rear visibility. So that concludes my in-depth exterior and interior tour of this 2019 BMW M2 Competition. Please find all contact details for Knowl Hill Performance and Luxury in the description of the video. Please subscribe for the latest content, and until next time, thanks for watching.